Hi everyone, welcome to Knottyyarnies. My name is Barb. Welcome to my home. If you're new here, I'm really glad you're here. I'm glad you found me however you did. I hope you stick around, considering subscribing and liking if you did like it. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. You know you're always welcome here, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm tremendously thankful for each and every one of you, all your comments down below, your conversations with me. Apologies to any that I didn't get back to this last week. I've had quite a migraine heavy week, so I really was bad at getting back to everybody, so I apologize ahead for that. I'm not normally like that, so oh my goodness, there's a black fly or a fruit fly flying around my face. Course, because why not? So I'm hoping the lighting's a little bit better today because I don't have a shadow. I have a ring light here, so trying some new things. Today we have some no, we don't have FOs. What am I talking about? FOs. I might have been dreaming about having FOs. I don't know, but no, I have some whips, and I did quite a lot on those whips. And at the tail end, I have some acquisitions, purchases, that kind of thing. And not just show and tell kind of thing, but I want to chat about what I'm planning to make with each thing that I had purchased. So today I'm recording June 30th, so it's the last day of Pride Month. So I thought I would sport my rainbow tie-dye shirt that I made last week for Pride Bingo. And also tomorrow, which you may be watching tomorrow because I can't get it up until July 1st after editing, so it's probably either July 1st or after for everybody else. So I'm going to tell you what national days. So today, June 30th, is National Social Media Day. That's why I thought I would record today. And it's also National Outfit of the Day. So thought I would sport this as my outfit of the day. And if you're watching this on July 1st and you're Canadian, happy Canada Day if you are choosing to partake in Canada Day this year. Some choose not to be. We won't get into that subject, but if you're partaking in any of the Canada Day festivities, happy Canada Day. It's also Postal Workers Day, Creative Ice Cream Flavors Day. So creative ice cream flavors, not just chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, creative. And it's also National Chicken Wing Day. So I might make myself some air fried chicken wings for dinner tonight. Just might do that. So it's been a week since I've seen you. This has been going great lately. I've been able to get my podcasting done every week for the last 3 consecutive weeks, and I'm so glad to have you joining me. I have a live coming up with Gina and Lorraine on Tuesday for our hashtag #OneCal collab. If you're involved in that, if you're not, why not? Please come join us. You have lots of time to make the America Tank with us because it's not done until July 23rd. That leaves over 3 weeks to make this shirt. And I tell you, I've did one in 2 weeks. So if I could do one in 2 weeks, I'm sure you could do one in 3.5 weeks. You got this. So please join us. Join us for the live. Get inspired. Maybe even make it, if you're watching this after the July 23rd deadline, maybe even join in the fun and just tag us on the hashtag. We'll be following it from now on, so we'll get to see your projects. Would love to see your projects and your creativity. So today I have some whips. No FOs today. I have some whips to show you. So let's get into it, I suppose. We'll start off with crochet today. So my whip crochet, of course, is the OneCal collab, the America Tank by Jeannie over at On the Hook Needle, On the Hook. On the Hook Designs by Jeannie over on Etsy and Instagram. So I have that in one of my bags. So I'm on my second one. I wore my first one last week for part of the podcast just while I was talking about it because it was extremely warm here last week, so I couldn't wear it through the whole podcast. So, and I can't wear this one because it's not completely done. But spoiler alert before Tuesday, if you don't want to see my progress before Tuesday and you want to be surprised for Tuesday's live, just fast forward about 5 minutes until you don't see me with the yellow thing in my hands. And that way you're not spoiled by how much work I got done on my second one. Ready? Be warned. Okay guys, so I'm making a second one, and I decided for my second one not to be in a pullover because I did about the last 4 things I did were all pullovers. So I wanted to make a cardigan, something open that I could just throw over and be cuddled up in, you know, and that had maybe a big flap that I could pull over and just like a great big hug. And also I wanted to make it in a different type of material. My first one was just in an acrylic blend, and this one is actually in using cotton. So this one I'm using cottony silk, and it's from Loops and Thread. There we go. So this is the yarn I am using, and the colorway name is called Sun Valley, and it is a number 3 DK weight, 60% polyester, 20% cotton, and 20% silk. So it's not just like the dishcloth cotton that you would make dishcloths out of. It's a little bit softer than that. Not a whole lot softer, just a little bit softer, but I will be wearing it over top of things like a t-shirt or a tank top anyway. So what I'll leave this one out because I have something attached to it. What I did was the back piece first that I normally did, but when I did the back piece, my piece 24 inches across, so that's how I did my first one, right? Well, when I did it across, this is how it looked. And I didn't really want the stripes going side to side over myself. So what I decided to do was turn them this way so that it would be like this on my back, right? So what I decided was to do that. So now that I decided to turn it this way, and it was 24 inches across, that means it's 24 inches up and down instead. And I knew before I hit 24 inches or 27 inches, because I thought it was going to be in length, I knew to stop. I could have ripped back anyway. So I just stopped at 24 inches wide, which was, oh, what was it, 40 rows maybe? No, 23, 46 rows of double crochet. And then at the bottom, I like trim on my bottom, so I did a bottom rib, so like a 2x or a front post back post all the way across. Okay, so that's the back piece. Hope you can get the idea of it. So that's my back piece. So that's all in one piece. Now, for the front piece, it's interesting because I decided, of course, like I said, to do a cardigan. Sorry guys, just gotta move this stuff around. Oh, I probably need to show you that part. Just a minute. So this will be going across just on my front, right? So I didn't want to have it just square and then end like and have it fold, you know, with just a harsh line. So what I'm doing is I took the back part. See how well I can show this now to you. Okay, I took the back part And I'll just put this here so you can see it better. So this will be my right side. And I took this part that I'm working on, and I'm going to be matching it up because you start at the corner for sewing to go across here. Okay, so here's my one piece, and it's going here. So I'm going to be working over, but I'm not going to go all the way to the halfway point. I'm going to go about 5 inches away from the halfway point before I start doing the decreases. Now the decreases will be on the top end. They won't be on the bottom end, okay? So that when I come up this one row, I will skip the last stitch on this one. And then when I go start the next row, I'm going to do 2 double crochet together to bring it down the next row. Then I'll double crochet all the way down, back up. I will skip that. It's kind of like a wrap and turn in knitting, but you're not really wrapping and you're just turning the stitch, right? So I will skip the last double crochet and then go back down, turn my work, go to the next, and then I'll do 2 double crochet together. I think I figured it out to have 10 rows of decrease. So by the time I get from here to here, there's 10 rows, and I will have 10 separate decreases. 5 will be on the way down, and 5 will be when I come back up. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It'll be easier to show probably my next podcast so that you could see the staggerness of it. So just imagine that this is a little bit longer, and then it comes down like this. Comes down so that it has more of a V-neck. I think I have a picture here. I showed it last week. Let's see. Yes, I do. Just to give you an idea. I got the shakes today. Just so you have an idea of what the shirt looks like. So that it comes to a V at the front. And then I'm going to have trim all around the front as well. I guess as long as I know what I'm doing, right? That's the important part. But I'm hoping if you are here and you watch on Tuesdays lives, oh, they're usually on Mondays. Just keep in mind that that was not a mistake. It is Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern this coming week. Because of the long weekend in the States, some people might take the Monday for the holiday because it falls on Sunday, Independence Day. I think it's called Independence Day, July 4th. And anyway, it's Tuesday this week, and this is our third to last one. There's prizes every time. Keep that in mind if you want to join too. There's still 3 prizes left. But you'll get to see my progress from today, which is, what is today? Today's Wednesday. So you'll get to see my progress for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then into Tuesday afternoon. So almost 6 days, 5.5 days, you'll get to see my progress. So I'm hoping to have at least the one side done, maybe even 2 sides done by then. I like to flip-flop between projects, right? So any questions about that? What's that? If you do, please just put them down there. You know the little V that's down here? Just click on there. No, that doesn't give you answers. That's all the information. Never mind. The comments section is still down there. Put any questions you have about that down there, because I'm sure I left out a whole heap load of information that I should have included. That's why our lives are so great, because you can ask a question and we're there to answer, and there's 3 of us. So between the 3 of us, one of us will be talking and the other 2 can be typing and reading, making sure that we're not missing any questions and that kind of thing. It's so wonderful. I'm really enjoying. At the beginning of this, I was so nervous, but I've made, besides the bonus of 2 great friends getting out of this as a bonus, and then plus another, there's at least 4 dozen more friends also at least 4 dozen of you that are joining in, and that we converse like weekly, chatting and stuff. So thank you so much if that's one of you. So yeah. All right, my next whip. What do I have down for my next whip? Oh, okay, my next whip is for crochet. It's a whip, but it's going to be a frog too. I've got to frog it. Here's what the pattern looks like. I don't know. I'm not sure how it's showing up because I hit something on my camera and it's changing the settings. So I'm hoping the blurriness, it's not focusing in and stuff. Apologize if it is. So I'm using Pear Perfect sock yarn. Color is called Pink Cadillac. And I'm doing the size, let's see. It is a pattern by, it says Patton's Croy Socks, Toe Up Sock. Oh, I'm pulling all my stitches out here, guys. I think it's a Yarnspirations maybe pattern. I think I erased. I believe it's a Yarnspirations. I'm doing the lady size 7/8. And I'm a lady size 9 to 10-ish. Not over 10. Between 9 and 10. So usually a 9.5. But I put this on and it is huge. And I used a smaller hook than recommended. It recommends a hook size of, oh, what does it recommend? 3.25 millimeter, which is a US 3. And I used a 3.5 millimeter, which I'm guessing is a US 4 because it's a, or maybe there's a 3.5. I don't know if they go by points. But anyway, my point is it's too large and I've got to rip back. But here's, I want to show you how it looked anyway, how far I got. It's about a finger width too wide. So like this much. If I fold this over, like that much, that's how too much wide it is. Like it, I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit loose to make it more slipper-like, and I could have just made it shorties and made them slipperish for around the house. They would slide on my feet like no tomorrow, so I have to rip all the way back. I probably could just rip back to where the increases part is. I'm not sure. I might try that. But I'm loving how the pattern is turning out. I like how it's striped into place, and then up there it has like right near the toe there, where it has like the almost what do you call that? Checkers, kind of like. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So I just one day wanted to cast on something different, and I only had one crochet project to show you guys. So I said, I better put something else on the hook. All right. On the sock train, since I'm talking socks, I also, you've seen last week, I was doing knitting socks for my son for Christmas. This is one of my purchases. Actually, I'll jump into this a little bit. I thought this was so adorable for a sock bag for me. It's a nice handle. It's wicker. I just love it. I might, there's nothing on this side, and I might engrave, not engrave, you wouldn't call engraving, sewing, stitching, embroidery. I might embroider like something on the back side of this. Just an idea I had. Actually, it just popped in my head literally today. Okay, so the one I showed last week, I was only like, oh my goodness, I do the cuff down, and I was only like that little bit, but I got one whole sock. I have more than one sock, but I'll first show you the one sock that I have, okay? So I do, first of all, I use, oh, they're on my other socks. I'm looking for the needles. I use 2.25 millimeter Chow red lace 9-inch circular. 9-inch circular needles. You get the joke if you watch Needles at the Ready with Kevin and Ray, because Ray is always whispering 9-inch circular needles into their microphone. But you don't get the same idea when you're just a woman saying it and you don't have a microphone. I've been looking for a microphone, so I don't know where to find one. I do know on Amazon, I do know, but $50 is not, after what I spent this weekend, it's not in the budget right now. So hopefully by Christmas I get a microphone. And when I do find a microphone, tangent, sorry sock, when I find a microphone in a store somewhere, the problem with it is it doesn't say if it's compatible with either my phone or my camera or with YouTube. So I'm at a loss what to get. So I've got to do a lot of research on the brands that I can buy before I actually make the purchase. So yeah, when I do get one, I'll let you know so that I ask you how I sound comparatively to other videos that I've had made. Okay, so back to the sock. You don't want to know about microphones. You're not here for microphones. Should I tell you about my construction or the yarn I'm using? I'll talk about the construction first. So I use, one time, the Crazy Sock Lady, hi Kay, not that she's watching, her 9-inch circular tutorial. And I did it the one time and I wrote down the instructions so that in the way that I learn and know how. So like a pattern might say slip a stitch. Me, I'm sitting there, if I read slip a stitch, I'm so confused. Do I slip it knitwise or purlwise? I don't know. So I write down which way to slip that stitch. Or it might say increase a stitch. Well, how? Which way? There's so many different ways to increase a stitch. So I write down which way to increase a stitch. I write down all those different things, like knit two together. Well, how? From the left needle, the right needle. All those things I want to know. So I write it all down. It's like six written pages by hand of my handwriting, because different sizes also you want to make sure you have for each size. Anyway, I do the 1x1 rib, not twisted. I have not did twisted rib yet. I don't even know what twisted rib is yet. But I do 20 rounds. I make it this as easy as possible. My son fits, I've got a knitted pair of socks on right now, and he's tried them on and they fit him perfectly. For me, they're like a slouchy house sock, so they're comfortable, they're loose. If I had, you know, something with salt last night, my feet swell up a little bit, they fit me comfortably still. So I like them a little bit on the positive ease side, where for him he wants the negative ease side for in his work boots. So these are 64 stitches around on, like I said, 2.25 millimeter knitting needles, the Chow 9-inch circular, 20 rows of 1x1 rib. And then say I was changing color, say I was using a separate color for the cuff as the body, or there was a pattern of the body, always do the next row after your ribbing as the same color as your ribbing, okay? This is so that when you switch colors, you aren't getting that line that you get when you switch to all knit stitches from a knit and purl. So you would get the dashes across because of the previous row, the purls, okay? So wait until the second row after your cuff to start to change your color. Yes, to change your color if you are changing your color. I, however, used one whole color. Just a little tip that I've learned over the years that I wanted to tell you about. So then I do 50 rows. This is quite a tall sock. I did 60 rows, but it was a little too long, so now I switched to just doing 50 rows from the bottom of the cuff to where the heel flap goes. I did a heel, slip stitch heel, and the heel turn, and the heel flap, and and the gusset. So the one that she has right on the pattern when she's talking about it. So I don't do any modifications where that is. I know you can lengthen the heel flap, and I don't know if you could change anything about the heel turn if need be. The gusset, I know you could increase or decrease, so depending on the size of your foot. I haven't played around with that, but I want to show you how beautiful my socks are looking now. Like, this is just this here is my 4th sock. I have 1 full pair of socks that I've knitted that are on my feet. I have 1 tube sock that I've made about 3 months ago, and it has the needles in the 2 rows because it's ready for me to cut for the afterthought heel, and that's kind of scaring me lately, so it's on a timeout until I'm ready to do that. So this is my 4th sock. But here is let's see if you can see. I'm hiding my nails because I kind of broke them all down, so but you can see this line here, how beautiful that turned out. This is not blocked. Keep in mind, these are not blocked, and I do block them. I block them because this is superwash yarn, and there is a stretch, and I like them to stretch a little bit so they're not as tight on them as they need to be. I stop. Okay, I do then after the gusset, I do, I forget how many inches, 3.75 inches for his size, my size in length, and all the way from the end of the gusset decreases all the way to the toe where I start decreasing for the toe. So when I get down, basically when you get down to 1.75 inches before the tip of your foot, so the length of your foot. So if the length of your foot is 9 inches, you subtract 1.75 inches, which is, here's math, 8.25 inches, okay? You want to start where your decreases are for your toe. And then when you start your decreases for your toe, when you're on 9-inch circular needles, you actually need to switch to DPNs or to magic loop to do your decreases for your toe. So here is, if you want to see the tip of my toe, how it turned out. I keep forgetting that my camera shuts off after 30 minutes of time. Crazy, I know, crazy that I forget every time, but I just showed you the tip of my toe, right? You've seen that. You probably seen these stitch markers hanging down the side. So I don't go crazy because I love just this stockinette. This is a vanilla sock. Forgot to say that. I love the mindless round and round and round. I could watch a show with the guys, so I put this project down and I just work on these when people are around, when I'm going somewhere and I just want mindless stockinette. I try to do the heel, the cuff. The cuff's easy too to me. The toe is easy as well, but just the round and round stuff when people are around. But I mark every 10 rows so that I can keep track of my how many rows I have. And so I put the first marker on my first round for the one after the gusset decreases. So this is 0, then I go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It just so happens that 50 rows equals the length of my toes before I have to start the decreases. So the math just works out beautifully for mine and my oldest son's foot. I'm trying to convince my husband and my youngest son that they can use a pair of wool socks from me made. So fingers crossed they do. So this is my hoe, but I also have the other one started, everyone. Whoop, whoop. I know it's only been a week and I have So I have one sock finished, and in here I have the second one, and then I'll talk about the yarn. So here's my second. Whoops. I can't believe how far I am. I better mark with a stitch marker where I am. So here is, and I want to show you something else. I'm so excited here. This just excites me, the sock. I might become a sock, maybe I'm a sock knitter now, guys. Do you think I'm a sock knitter? Wow. So here's my other one. And look at this. Side by side. I got them to completely match. My husband's jaw dropped. He goes, "How did you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just a professional sock knitter now." He laughed. He knows there had to be a way that I just figured out how to do it. But so I will have to mark this with a stitch marker so that I can know next time to show you where I was, and when I'm hopefully be done, right? Hopefully I could be done it next week, because I want to cast on another bear. So I am using this beautiful yarn. It's not beautiful soft, just so you know. It's like really rustic feeling, non-slippery, like the kind of socks that you want on your feet, the nice wool socks. So it's by Opal, the Opal brand. Oh my goodness, I've got a wool itch. So it's Opal, 4-ply, pull over, and sock and wool. I'm not sure what that means. It's in a different language. It says Fresh Frond 2. Das Klassen Treffen. It's 100 grams, 425 meters. 75% shearwool, virgin wool, 25% polyamide. Now, if anybody knows, it says do not use fabric softener on it. Does anyone know if this is indeed superwash, or if this I can't put in the wash? I'm hoping it's superwash, that my son could throw it in the washer and dryer like he can my Croy socks. But I'm not sure, because this is a different label. Like, maybe I'll show you the label. So if anyone out there speaks a Speckende Deutsch, is it a Speckende or just Speckende Deutsch? Speckende Deutsch. I grew up in Germany. My little fun facts. I grew up for some of my life in Germany, and my brother was actually born in Germany. We lived there for 5 years, and yeah, I'm an army brat, so my dad was stationed over there for 5 years, and I enjoyed gardening in the garden with my Oma, and she was my adopted Oma. I adopted her, and we used to drink tea together, and my mom said we used to pick like beans in her garden, and I think somebody out there had beehives, and somebody else had bunnies. I don't know if the bunnies were wild or if they bred bunnies for wool or meat or what, but I'll have to talk about that one time and get all the information I can for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you the label just in case you guys, anyone speaks German, because I'd really, really love to know. So here's part of the label. I apologize to anybody that doesn't speak German and is watching this right now, because you probably are like, I don't want to see this. And here's the other part that might help you. Wait. And the color is called Party, if anybody would like to know the color. Party number 2624, and it's Harry bringt die Kinder mit. It's kind of fun. So if you can tell me anything about this, I would appreciate it greatly. So let's put this in the bag. And every bag, project bag I have some form of little notions pouch in the bag. So, and that includes like tip stoppers, like, I don't know what you really call them. The things there that go on top of the needles. I have a row counter, I have stitch markers that slide onto knitting needles, and I've opened lobster clasp ones for crocheting or for progress keepers. I have that in every bag, along with either nail clippers to cut yarn or scissors, you know, and of course my needles or whatever else I need. So my next project is being housed in my, wait, I'm gonna do this, in my beautiful Wild Woolies handmade bag. And on top you may see the Grocery Girls pin. The Grocery Girls pin. And another Grocery Girls pin. It says Hat Chat, I believe. Does it say Hat Chat? It says Hat. Yeah, Hat Chat. And then my other one on there is from Mikey and Diva Dan, the Crochet Crowd. The Crochet Crowd from Mikey and Diva Dan, when I met them in Ottawa a few summers ago. The summer before they moved that winter. They moved down east. So in here is my Vertices Unite, and anyone that's following Erin and Chip over at Fiber Hustle knows that it's hashtag Hustlers Unite, Cal, and doing the Vertices Unite. So here is what it looks like. This is a small version I'm showing you. It's nothing like this because this is kind of boring colors for Stephen West, and it's kind of boring colors for myself too. So the first section I showed you last week, I used these two colors. Before I even show you the shawl, I'll show you. This is my handmade colorway. It has some pinks, teals, and, or not, I don't like to say teal. Pinks, purple, and like an aqua kind of color. And then the other one is just a wool-like brand from Loops and Thread. Oh, I think I just managed to fix something. I'm going to move you closer, everyone. So now I could show you better. Okay, try to show you section 1. And last week I was done section 1 completely when I did the podcast. I kind of left the stitch markers still on there though, just for fun. Okay, I'm just hiding section 2 here. So there was section 1 that I finished last week. Woo! Pretty bag, right? That's what she said. Okay, so then Barb did section 2. There we go. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Section 2. And I have something to tell you about section 2. Now, section 3, everyone, starts in here. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I have to pick up stitches in that V area. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to pick, that's section 3. So I asked you guys last week what colors, like I knew this was the color I was choosing from my hand-dyed collection, and I wanted to know out of the 3 colors that I had of wool, like which one went with the blue. And as you can tell, everyone chose, I didn't have anyone choose any other color, but everyone chose the pink. So this is these two together. Let me try to hold it this way. So how do you think they turned out? The contrast is not as big as the one on section 1. It's very subtle, but I actually like that part of it because section 1 will stand out more, and then section 3 is going to stand out even more because section 3 I'm using my hand-dyed yarn, this stuff, with just the subtle speckles. So look how bright this is going to be. So this is going to pop, and this is supposed to be the entertainment, as in the words of Stephen West. So you want to sparkle out of the night, you know. So this hopefully will do it. So thank you everybody that voted for which one to do. Now you say that you're like, oh Barb, you said there's not much contrast. I find there is. How do you know? Well, if you were to take a picture, okay, of the shawl, and then show it in black and white. Maybe I'll insert a photo here. I have to take this photo, so I have to remember to take this photo after. You do it, you change it in settings, you go to edit, and then change it into black and white, and you'll notice my section 1 is really stand out. The two colors, they're like, one's really light, one's really dark, and then in the other section you'll notice that it's kind of just a smidge off, like it's very close together. You can tell a little bit of a difference, but it's very close together. So if you want to do that, all I could have did was take a photo of these beside each other and then do the black and white photo idea and see the contrast, but I wasn't worried about it. I really like how it turned out. And I'm being honest. I would never, if I didn't like something, I would totally say it. But yeah. So I'm loving how this is turning out. It's going to be a huge shawl. I'm trying to finish a section a week, and that will give me 1.5 weeks to kind of spare. So the half week will be for blocking, and the 1 week will be in case I get behind on 1 week, or in case the border takes me longer than I suspected. But actually the border might be 1 whole week alone because I cord bind off, I think. So this is the Vertices Unite. I can't believe I forgot. I did say Stephen West earlier, but this is a Stephen West pattern for anyone that doesn't know. Yeah, it seems like somebody's always doing one of Stephen West's or Stephen West along. My next one I want to do, and I will do, will be the one out of that by Stephen West out of the 52 Weeks of Shawls book that Gina had gifted me. I want to do that one so bad. There is a bunch that I want to do out of that book, but there's quite a few that I want to do that are going to be challenging for me. So what I might do is try to find knit-alongs for people hosting any of the patterns that are in that book. So maybe what I might do is ask you guys, if you ever see on Instagram somebody hosting a knit-along out of a specific pattern out of that book, if you can tag me in it so that I know that it's going on, I'd love to join in so that I have other people that are doing the same shawl in case I get stuck that can kind of help me. That would be great. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, if you're just here for what I've made and created, thank you so much for stopping by and sitting and spending your precious knitting or crocheting time with me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope to see you on Tuesday. If not, I'll see you on my next podcast. And if you're wanting to stick around, I've got beautiful stuff. I've got my husband spoiling me My son spoiling me, my youngest son that lives with us, spoiling me rotten. And yeah, you just stick around, and you know, if you've got some time on your hands, if not, press stop when you've got some time on your hands. I hope you come back and watch what I've got, because I've got quite a lot of things, and I have questions for you guys. Like, when I show you certain yarn and I have an idea with it, maybe you have something else and you're like, no, Barb, maybe you should do this instead with that. And I love that. I would love to hear what you guys think. So any ideas, even if I say I'm set on something, let me know, because I'm open to opinions for everything. So on the weekends, we needed to go to Costco, which is in Ottawa, which is a couple-hour ride from us. So we figured we had 2 other stores we'd like to stop at. So the first place we stopped at was a store called Princess Auto, which has 2 aisles of things that interest me, like like electronic type of things. So I stayed there, or things like zip ties that I use for yarn dyeing, and disposable rubber gloves, those kind of things. So there's things there that I could purchase, is basically what I'm saying. So when I was there, well, sorry for the rustling, I'm going to take everything out. When I was there, the first thing I spied I needed for dyeing was a respirator mask. So my son purchased me one. A respirator mask for when I do my yarn dyeing. Right now I just have an N95 mask, and it should be 100, and this is 100. So it was on for $10 off, and when it's a $50 item, $10 off is very helpful. So thank you, Cole, for my respirator mask, and my lungs will appreciate that too. Of course, right? And then when I started making bags, as you know, if you watched last podcast, you know that I just started doing some bags, and everybody voted to say that, yeah, they would love them if they won a giveaway and got one of my handmade bags, the drawstring bags. Well, the ones that I made, all I had really was like ribbon for the handle, and I thought, no, I don't really like the ribbon for a handle. Doesn't seem sturdy enough to me. So I asked my husband to think of things that I could use instead. So we thought of like a rope type thing. Then when we got down the aisle where there was rope, there was some that was rope, like this is a polyester cord, and it's just nice white with black speckles in it. There's the stuff with the black speckles. And then we were down there, and that was the only real rope one that I got, but I had noticed that they had some paracord, and they had lots of different colors of paracord, and they were a really decent price. Like this rope here was 100 feet. Sorry, that's my dog. 100 feet, but it was $10. And then they had this, and it's what is this? 150 feet of paracord, and it was only $4.99. And I loved the camo look of that. And then I got this fluorescent neon orange one for $4.99. Reflective, actually. It's only 50 feet, but it was $4.99. And then I got some other colors. Some green, that was $3.99. And then some pretty pink and blue, that was $4.99. Pink and blue. And then I got an orange. Orange, black, yellow type ones. So I thought those would work perfect too. And I can match them to my bag. And then I'll just look out for some other colors as I go. Because I mean, that was $40 just off just all of that was $40 there. So that was what I bought at Princess Auto. So got at Princess Auto 4 more, I call them blocking mats. They're just those large puzzle pieces for the floor that you could put together. There's a set of 4. And I already have a set of 4, but I blocked a skinny shawl that was 9 foot long, and I think the vertices unite, I'm going to need it to be wider, so I'm going to have to do 2 in depth, so that'll be 4 feet wide. Hopefully it's not more than 4 feet wide. If it is, I don't know what I'll do. I'll have to buy another pack. So I purchased that. I'll save that. I went to a secondhand store as well yesterday, and I got a few things for there, so that'll be at the end. So first of all, I'll talk about what I got at my LYS. I call it an LYS. It's not really local to me. It's in Ottawa, so it's 2 hours away. The girls at Wool-Tyme, thank you so much. I know you're not watching, but at that time we were only allowed like 9 people in the store at a time, and there was a couple people waiting outside, but like the other people that were local there were kind of in and out really quickly, not like us that took 2 hours. And the main reason we went there was for me and for Costco for groceries. So like to go all that way, and then, you know, you're in there for half an hour and maybe to be asked, you know, are you going to be much longer? Well, they came up to us and said, or we have people waiting, are you going to be much longer? And I just said, I came from 2 hours away to come shopping here, so I plan to be a little bit longer. Like, can I stay? Like, do I have to leave? I kind of, like, I didn't know what I would do if she said I had to leave at that point, because I really just started looking, because what I do is I process everything I see, and then I go back around the second time and then choose what I purchase from there, because I'm not the breadwinner in the family, it's my husband, so it depends on what he, you know, figures we can spend that day, right? So my son spied as soon as we walked in the store what he wanted to buy me, and I said, no, Cole, like, you bought for me for my birthday, for Christmas and Mother's Day, you spoiled me so much. But he said, no, Mom, I want to get this for you. So I'll start with that. I'm going to take it out of the bag.
So we don't crinkle here. Jumpy. I hope you're not going to sneak peek there. Are you sneaky peeking? Okay, so, okay, I'll try to stop that. So my son, first off,
he's seen this kit. It is a night shift shawl kit from Estelle Yarns, and it's, I'll stand up here, from Cascade Yarns, Cascade 220, and it's their wave yarn. Okay, actually I'll show it this way. So you get, whoops. So you get 6 yarns from the teal, a purple, a gray, this is a like a whiskey kind of color, an orange, a pink. You get the whole shawl kit. What I always thought when you got a shawl kit was that you got the pattern with it, but you didn't. So it's for the night shift shawl. Hi guys, welcome back. I say welcome back, it's just like a fraction of a second for you. For me though, it's been 13 hours. My son had came home, and then shortly after my husband came home, and yeah, I spent some time with them. Then I got into knitting and crocheting for quite a long time, and I've been up all night. It is now 6:04 a.m. and it is officially July 1st. So happy Canada Day to anyone celebrating or choosing to celebrate today. And all the special days that I had said at the beginning of the podcast, that was for July 1st. So I'm hoping I can get this edited and uploaded and everything still for the end of today. So welcome back. I'm still going to show you the same stuff. I'm going to show you my purchases from the Wool-Tyme in Ottawa, that haul, and then I'm going to show you a couple other things. So I was showing you, I'm not sure what I've cut out or anything. So I'm going to show you first what my son had purchased for me. So I probably showed you in the package the Cascade Yarns. Now I seem to have the camera back so much further, so I'm going to go through and tell you each colorway. These are gorgeous. They're all 75%. Are they else? No, they're 100% superwash wool, 100 grams and 220 yards each, and they are a DK weight. Yes, because there's 220 yards for 100 grams, so that equals a DK weight. So I'm going to come up closer to show you all the beautiful colors. They just have numbers. There's no real color number, or is there? No, there's no color number, so we'll just go with basic. This is like brown and rust. There we go. Then we've got a beautiful gray, charcoal gray and black. Then we have a beautiful, of course this is my favorite, purple. And then we have a beautiful, like a deep, deep pink, red, burgundy type color. And then we've got this beautiful green, teal, aqua, like the most beautiful body of water you could imagine. And lastly, these beautiful oranges and reds together. Now all together, I'm going to try to put this so they're upright so you can see their beauty all together. There we go. Hopefully my shirt is not taking away from it all. I'll try to get it up higher. Here we go. There we go. Look at all the beautiful, beautiful Cascade 220 yarns. Beautiful, right? They're gorgeous, Cole. Thank you so, so much, Cole. These are gorgeous. I can't wait to make the shawl. So I hope I didn't cut that part out. Just one second, put these all down. So if I cut that part out, I'm making Andrea Mowry's shift shawl. Is it just shift? Oh, the night shift shawl, and I can't wait to use that yarn. It's gorgeous. So thank you, Cole, so much. Just, oh my gosh, feeling very spoiled. And he didn't just get that for me, and he didn't just get the mask, the respirator for me. He also bought me another kit for a shawl. This one is from Katya Neon Non-Stop Creativity Yarn, and it comes with a pattern for a crocheted shawl. And here's the color. Purple and a beautiful, beautiful blue, and of course pink. Didn't he do great, guys? Like, super, super great. Like, that shawl kit, didn't he do wonderful? Like, I was so spoiled that day. Like, that shawl kit, I looked at the price and I kept telling him, no, Cole, no. But he says, Mom, you do so much for me and you deserve it. So he says, I want you to have the yarn and to make yourself a beautiful shawl with it. So that I will do, and I hope I could do the yarn justice because it's gorgeous, simply gorgeous. Okay, so then my husband filled a couple of bags himself for me, asked me what I wanted to get, what we were there for. So I had a couple of things. One was for our nephew for Christmas. I want to do him an Afghan this Christmas, so I needed to get enough yarn to make an Afghan for him. And then I also wanted some wool. So on top of what I wanted was like I said, the wool for my nephew for Christmas. But I didn't want that in wool. I wanted something that can be washed because they've got a couple of dogs and a couple of cats. So, and he's 14, so he's a teenager. So wanted it to be washable. And then I wanted some more sock yarn because I'm making, as I said, making my oldest son socks for Christmas, a collection. So I wanted to get more sock yarn for him. I also wanted to get a color of sock for myself of sock yarn, like wool. I got lots of the stuff from Hirschner's before that wasn't wool. It was like acrylic nylon blends type thing, or cotton nylon. So I wanted some that were wool for my feet. They're always cold. So I said I would like some sock yarn to make myself a bunch of shorty socks. Just short. It's my feet that are cold, not my leg part, right? And then I said I wanted two more things. Well, the one didn't necessarily matter, but I said I wanted mohair. I said every time I grab mohair, guys, I ended up with like 2 little balls. And it just is not enough for an entire sweater, 2 balls, that I'm aware of anyway, like not for a size extra large. So I wanted a sweater, words are tough today, a sweater quantity of the mohair, of a solid color mohair, or I didn't even care if it was variegated, and a coordinating, either a DK or fingering solid color yarn, or tonal yarn. Like I didn't want a variegated sweater. I wanted just a very, very plain solid color, as long as it's a solid color. So that was my goals, what I wanted to get out of the shopping day. So first up, we found some of this Patton's Bohemian yarn. I don't know. I'll see if one of them has one open here. 18 balls of this Patton's or Payton's, however you say it, Bohemian yarn. Sorry, my ring light. It's not quite bright enough outside, so I just close the curtains and then have like a ring light and a ring light. So this is a really chunky weight yarn. It's a number 6 weight yarn. So there's only like 68 yards in each skein. But I looked it up on Ravelry, and people have a decent sized one using like 12 balls. And I've got 6 more than 12. And then I've got different kinds of blanket yarns that I could use as a border to make it larger around. But this stuff is so super soft. So I got 3 bags of this stuff. Like, so there's 18, I call them balls. So there's 18 balls of that. And then like I said about the soft yarn. So he asked me what kind of, so the first one I picked out, I thought was perfect for my son for the color. I guess oh, this one's totally sealed. I really don't want to open it because once I open it, it's going to go all over the place in my room until I have to make a shelf for these. So this is the Croy Socks, Patton's Croy Socks. The color is called Eclipse Stripes. Eclipse Stripes. It's like black, gray, and a navy blue. Yeah, and the gray is like really like heathered. So it's really nice. So these are, I think these are only 50 gram. Yeah, they're 50 grams. So it'll take 2 balls to make a full sock. So that's enough to make 3 socks, 3 pairs of socks if I chose to do them all for him. But I'm mixing them up. So I'm doing different colors. So then he asked me, oh, well, grab some for your sock, for yourself. So I said, okay. So it was a toss-up. So this is the first one that grabbed my eye. This is another Patton's Croy. And it's in Mulberry Stripes, it's called. It's like burgundy, light pink, a fuchsia pink, and then a deep eggplant purple in there. And then he says, well, is that the only one you want for yourself? And I said, well, I also really like the other one. I couldn't choose between the both, but if I don't have to choose, so this was the other one I got. Shouldn't be a shocker. It's pinks with some purple and blue. It's called Cameo of Colors. So then he also picked me up a different crochet shawl. This one's kit. This one is just in black and white. It's a Katya. And he chose the pink with the browns for me. That's my husband that bought that. And then I found some wool. This is, I think, this is merino lace. Osterman. Yeah, Osterman, I guess is the name. They're 25 grams each and 350 meters for each ball. And I got 10 balls. So it's like a lace weight. So if you were to hold 2 together, 2 lace weights together, you get a fingering. Just like you would with mohair. If you were holding 2 mohair together, you get a fingering weight. So the color is number 6. And it is superwash virgin wool. And it's just a chocolate brown. Very deep chocolate brown. And you'll see, I'll hold this because I'll show you it with the mohair that I purchased for it. Then the next one I got, another solid color, is Debbie Bliss Rialto Lace Extra Fine Merino Wool Superwash. 100% superwash wool. 50 gram balls, 390 meters. So this is another leaning towards the lace weight, okay? So if I was to put this with a mohair, I would get more of a fingering weight sweater than I would a DK weight sweater, with which what I would almost get if I was holding a fingering, a regular size fingering and a mohair together. It would be more a sport weight probably. So this is the color, oh, where's the color? 44041. It's just like a light steel gray. Very, very light. These all came in bags like this, so that you can buy your sweaters quantity for a little bit of a deal when you buy the whole bag. So then into the mohair. So the first one I spied was this guy, and it is actually a chunky weight itself. It is, what's it called? Flicka Kid? Just a second. It's got a price tag over top of the name. I'm ripping it. Okay, try to be careful on this side. Oh no, it ripped again. How do you say that? Oh, here. 50 Kid Uni. George's Picard. 45% kid mohair, 35% wool, 20% polyamide, made in France. And they are, does it say the gram? 50 gram balls. And I'm thinking it is like number 5 weight. It's pretty chunky. It's like a really, really gray, mauve gray type color. Like it's almost like the mauve is the wool underneath and the gray is the mohair on top. It's so pretty. So I got 2, 4, 5. So I got a pack of 10 of those. And then, oh, I got another. That's weird. I didn't know I got another. I guess I liked brown that day, I guess, apparently. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I got 20. Oh, I got 20. This is the softest thing I felt like in that store. Like, honest to goodness. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'll tell you about something in a minute. But this, I'm just going to take this off to read the label. And we're getting there. I'm going to break a nail. All my nails are broken. Broke all my nails. Okay, guys. So this is called Alpaca Cashmere Luxury Collection. Hand wash, dry flat. 60% baby alpaca, 30% merino wool, 10% cashmere. Oh my. 25 grams is 100 meters. So this is DK. I'd say this is close to DK weight. This is so soft. I don't see a color name. It says spun in Peru. It has a number. Yeah, the number is 2334. but it's a beautiful brown. And you could just see that halo on there. This is so soft. Like, this, I want an entire sweater, turtleneck, sleeves down to halfway down my arm. That's how soft this is. And that should not be a problem because look guys, I've got a box of 20 of them. So 25 grams. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 grams. That's over a pound of this luxury cashmere alpaca. Oh my gosh. So I guess I seen this and said that needs to come home with me. So I don't even remember what that one cost, honestly. I'm sure a pretty penny. This was my husband's gift for Mother's Day and my birthday. There was no stores open here in Ontario when it was going on, and if he was to order anything for me from Amazon, I would have seen what it was. So he knows I like surprises. Not that this was a surprise, but it was a surprise because I didn't know he was taking me there that day to get all this stuff. So so the second to last thing I got from that store, I got some Lang Yarns Super Kid Mohair, 25 grams each ball, 175 meters. It doesn't say the colorway, but it's 75% Super Kid Mohair, 20% nylon, 5% merino extra fine wool. And it's like, oh my gosh, tealy blue, black, pinky red. And I got 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 10 of those. So that's 250 grams of that stuff. So this, I was thinking, the reason I got this was to go with the gray. And I was thinking that I had another one that was a fine weight, but I don't. The other one is a chunky mohair, and it's not really going to go with anything. This was the one I thought was another mohair. So if I was to go back there, I would want to get a brown mohair of some sort. A brown or a beige to go with all that beautiful brown wool that I've got, right? Or maybe I just make a sweater without mohair in it. I could do that. And then the last thing from there that he purchased me, he told me, oh, you got to go grab those. And I didn't even see these. These are kind of like the Share a Pair socks from Amanda's Makings in down in the States there, the hand iron. Well, these are from Katya, and they're called Katya Darling Pure Merino Wool Superwash, and they're 50 grams each skein, 208 yards. Trying to read here. 60% virgin wool, 40% polyamide / nylon, it says. And it's so that you have a perfect pair of socks. So you can use their split, and it come in the bag. So you had 2. So if I can make 2 shorty socks, maybe like out of each ball. I don't know. I've never did shorty socks to know if I can get 2 shorty pairs, or maybe I just make 1 long one. I don't know. This is just color number. It just has a color number. It doesn't say the color. Sorry, nothing has color names today. Nothing exciting, right? So just beautiful. And he did a really, really good job of picking the color, because that suits me. I'm surprised I didn't pick more purple than what I did on that day. Earlier I showed you my colors for the Stephen West shawl. I wasn't thinking. I had the yarn in these little bags, and I forgot to show you this little idea. I made these little pouches there last week. I showed them to you last week, but they're just little drawstring bags, and I was going to use them for notion pouches, but then I got thinking, hey, those are perfect to go around my cakes of yarn and put them in my project bags so it doesn't get snafu'd all the yarn everywhere, right? So I've got 2 of these, so I must make some more. I'll have to measure them out. So then on Tuesdays here in Canada, we have a store called Value Village. It's a secondhand store. And on Tuesdays, it's a senior's day. And my mother-in-law called me and asked if I wanted to go along with her. So, of course, we just wore our masks. Like I went to her vehicle, because I don't drive. And I wore my mask. She wore her mask. We're both fully vaccinated, but just taking all the precautions. And then we stood in line 6 feet apart, and then in the store we're shopping. We weren't even together the whole time shopping, so it was very fun to get out. We were in line for an hour before the store even opened, because the store didn't open till 11, but because it was Senior's Day, we knew it was going to be busy. And once that first, it's only 15% capacity that day. It's up now today. But yeah, so anyway, we went to the secondhand store and I found a few things, and yeah, I got a few things to show you. So one of the things I got was this cool, you would think this is a beautiful sparkly purse. That's what the people probably used it for. But when you open it, I thought, oh my goodness, when I open this, makes a great pouch for notions. So perfect, because it could keep, or it could be a hook case, like crochet hooks fit in there. Yeah, or larger scissors. So if I have one case that I have larger scissors with and crochet hooks, it'll all fit in here. So I loved that. And this was like $1.99. If I could find one of those every time I go there, I'm buying one every single time. My next score, I just was almost afraid to look at the price, because I seen it and I was like, that, I hope to goodness that's not like $50, because it's known to happen at that store that you go and look at something you want so badly and they have it so crazy priced. So I picked this up. Look at this. This reminds me of Chip's basket. A Chip basket that Chip from Fiber Hustle makes. Except this is, look at the inside. Oh, gorgeous. This is like leather on the outside, and it's hard. Like, I want a Chip basket so badly that I think once I seen this, it's like I was taking it home. It didn't matter the price. I wouldn't have spent $50 on it, honestly. If it was $50, that would have been crazy. So then I looked at the bottom. It's made in Italy, and all they wanted was $9.99, and then you get 30% off for the seniors discount. So it was $7 for this beautiful tote. And I just put it beside my chair now, and I put my bags, my project bags in it. So it fits all my, when I have project bags. So when at the start of the podcast, I had all my projects sitting inside of this, off to the side. So it was all organized before my podcast, before I even started recording. So I love, love, love that. That's not all. I also wanted to show you I had a few different yarns also. Look at what I found first of all. It's like a giant footstool, but to me, I see a yarn bag because I filled it, and when I went to the cash, she put all the yarn that I bought in here. So there's some yarns in here. I found some cool Mary Maxim mohair glitter. It has 601 yards in 100 grams. It's a lace weight, but look at this. Is that not gorgeous? I got 2 balls of that gorgeousness. And then I've got a bunch of, I'm not going to go through everything I got here. I've got a bunch of Patton's Shetland chunky yarn. So I could do like color work in a chunky hat or something. Like I got burgundy, I got like a bright red, there's a pink, I don't even know what other colors. And then I got, sorry, I forgot to turn my sound back off. I got a bunch of this Eco Cozy loops and thread made from recycled plastic yarn. It is, I believe, a number 5. Yeah, 5 bulky. I got a bunch of this stuff. Like, I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll make some bags, or I'll make a chunky hats with it. I'm not sure. Then I found a couple of balls of this big, gigantic, ginormous balls. Like, see how big they are? To make my pet beds, because once they get really, really full of fur, and if you have a cat or dog, you know when they shed, it's not worth putting it through the washer and the dryer because you don't want to ruin your washer and dryer. When you could get a whole thing like this for $3.99 minus 30%, and then takes me like maybe 2 hours to whip up a little pet bed for them, and then so I just have to get rid of the other one, that's all, because yeah, I don't want to wreck my washer and dryer with all the pet fur. I also, what else do we get in here? Mostly, oh, I've managed to find a pom-pom, Bernat faux fur pom-pom. Beautiful. And these are like $13 in the stores up here to purchase. And then there was a ball of this Bernat Velvet Plus, so it's a really thick. You see it on my finger there, how thick it is? That's so super soft, super duper soft. And then lastly, I wanted to just to quickly show you, I got this this yarn on a cone. It's very fuzzy, but I don't know what it is. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care of yourself. Be safe. I'll miss you greatly. See you Tuesday. Don't forget. If you forget what time, don't hesitate to ask one of us 3 ladies. We will let you know what time it is. So take care of yourselves. I was going to say take care of each other, but no, take care of yourselves. I'll miss you greatly. And most of all, keep on being naughty. Bye, everyone. Thanks again for staying with me till the end. Appreciate it greatly. Bye-bye.